Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
It's time for another conversation. How can a spirit of gratefulness engender healthy relationships? I'm Noreen Daly and welcome to Making It Last podcast. And with me this time around, I have Shana Lynch, a graduate from the Department of Communication Studies from Northern Caribbean University, and a volunteer of NAPS Jamaica. I'm going to have her tell you what that is shortly. And then we have Nikesha Lowe, another graduate from the Department of Communication Studies and project manager for YWOP. So, Shana, tell us what is NAPS Jamaica before we get into the conversation.
Well, the acronym NAPS stands for the National Association for the Prevention of Starvation. It started on the campus of Oakwood University in the 1970s. So we've been in existence for over 40 years, And, we started recently in Jamaica because we wanted to ensure that Jamaica feels the effect. Now, what we do is that we do medical missionary, we do disaster relief, children program, we put on health fairs. So you name it, we deal with the holistic human being. And so currently we're doing a project in Hearteast, Manchester. It's a children program. And for the first Sabbath, which we started, we had about 30 children, and they were the one who requested that we come in.
Nice.
So we're doing well, and we're hoping that we will, expand.
Okay.
Right. So we're headed currently now by Wendy Simpson. She's overseas now, but she's still the head of NAPS Jamaica. So when she's not here, I take control.
Okay. All right. And Nikesha, who or what is YWOP?
Well, YWOP stands for Young Women and Men of Purpose. So it's actually YWOP/YMOP.
Okay.
Right. So we are a nonprofit organization that is geared towards helping young women and men. But I must say we haven't had a project for men yet.
Okay.
But so far we've been helping young women who are victims of teenage pregnancy and abuse, who are unemployed or not in school. So we help them to move forward from their circumstances and be change makers and nation builders.
Good.
So, yes.
Good.
Our most recent project, though, is the REAP Entrepreneurship Project. And REAP stands for Realize, Embrace, and Achieve Your Purpose. This one was geared towards women who are entering into entrepreneurship and who have an interest in business. So we assisted 20 young women to get opportunities in training for business management and also entrepreneurship training in every element, such as funding, marketing, and what it means to own and operate your own business, with that being registration, intellectual property. And we concluded that project with a conference that saw over 150 persons, which was extremely successful. We had an international guest speaker, Mr. Kevin Langley, and the conference was carried. Bits and pieces of it was carried on TVJ and CVM and also in the paper.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. Now, how can a spirit of gratefulness engender healthy relationships?
All right.
Nikesha?
All right. So being grateful, the Bible says that in everything we should give thanks. And a lot of times we tend to get distracted and we get caught up in our problems that we experience in life. No, in order for us to have healthy relationships with ourselves and even with our Heavenly Father and others who are around us, we need to be able to find the little things and also the big things in life to be appreciative of. Because I find that when you start to be thankful for things, you find more and more things to be thankful for. And then your outlook on life, it starts to change. Things start to shift and you realize that there is really more to be thankful for than there are things for you to complain about.
And it gives encouragement, I might add, because if you're constantly doing something for someone and they don't show this level of gratitude, it allows you to feel a little bit, as if what you're doing is not sufficient. So when you are able to give thanks, even in the smallest things, it really goes a far way. Whether you're on the job, a lot of persons say, well, you're working, I don't need to tell you thanks, I'm paying you. But even by saying thank you, or, showing just that you're grateful, it helps the person to feel a little bit more giving. And I find that even when you do voluntary work, and you say to somebody, this is what we need to do X, Y, and Z, and the person puts in a little, and you say, thank you, what you did was so, they're so encouraged to give more, and they're so encouraged to do more. So it really helps. And as it relates to relationships, it helps you to, do networking. It helps you to form bonds, long life friendships. All of this really, it goes a far way. So we have to learn and foster the attitude of being grateful.
That is so true. I remember reading a quote somewhere that says that when a person feels appreciated, they'll do more than what is required. And I find that it is so true because people like to know that they're adding value. They like to know that they are contributing to something that's bigger than themselves. So if it is that someone is picking up your garbage or they're merely just sitting to listen to you, you can be grateful for that. Because I've seen cases where people, I'm passing them, they're working on a construction site. And this particular gentleman, he looked so dumbfounded, like he looked like he was not having the best of a morning. And I stopped, I said, "Good morning, sir." And he started to smile, like really, really smile. And I felt good knowing that he felt appreciated because maybe for a lot of us, we often pass people on the road without even saying hi or good morning, or even if they pick something up for us or whatever, just to say thank you. Like it goes a far, far away. And so for some people, it may not necessarily resonate with them right away. And maybe they won't smile so that you can see, but inwardly it does something to them to let them know that you are seen, you are appreciated, you are enough. So that is very important.
And as a communication person, I might add that I have to appreciate gratitude because to me it's a form of communication.
True.
I will tell people that it is. Why? Because, we always talk about communication and we leave out noise, but it's a very important part of the communication process. And you don't know what somebody's going through. What they're going through could be their noise. And so when you communicate gratitude...
I'm going to have you stop right there and explain that whole concept of noise, because you're speaking with the assumption that people are listening would know what that means. Just tell us about that before you continue.
So noise is anything that goes in the way, and I'm trying to use the simplest terms. It's a barrier to effective communication.
Yes.
So that's what it is. So it could be, just a truck passing would come under environmental noise. It could be psychological noise,
which is
whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I'm alluding to, the psychological noise. People are going through so much. And when you show gratitude, it allows them to understand that you're appreciating them. I'm going to use the example between probably siblings or husband and wife. You said, did you take out the garbage? And the person, they probably took it out, but, they left a little something on the counter and you're going to be, why didn't you take it out? And you didn't do it properly and so forth. Instead of just saying, thank you so much that you took it out and so forth. So it really helps to make the person feel appreciated and you encourage them. And this is why it's important for us to understand how we are made up as humans. And I think that in every aspect of your life and in every study, in every course of study, whatever profession, you can take something from that and you can pin it to gratitude. And because if we go throughout life and we get a degree or we get some kind of training and we don't apply that to our lives, then it makes no sense. And to me, gratitude, it's twinned with everything that we do. And so we ought to be ensuring that as humans we are appreciating what other persons are doing for us. And even if somebody didn't do something, you thank them for the fact that they at least considered, they at least sat and they heard you what your request was. They didn't have to. So we should show gratitude in everything. And God says, in everything give thanks, as you mentioned before.
Yeah. Somebody's listening and they're saying, yes, ladies, it's easy for you to talk, but people might see me as being weird, for want of a better word to describe it. So what would be your response to that?
Well, for me, I love being weird. I've come to the realization that I am not normal, and that's fine. I embrace that. I was not made to fit in. So I am now appreciating my weirdness, or let me say my uniqueness. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is going to embrace that. And that's okay. That's their prerogative. That is fine. But at the end of the day, you have to know who you are. You have to know why you are grateful for whatever it is that you're grateful for. Now, Shana had made mention of relationships, and I'm glad she did, because as a wife, I mean, there are times you're going to find things that your spouse may not necessarily do the way you would have wanted them to do it. But the point of the matter is that they did it. They didn't have to. It's a choice, and they chose to do it. So we have to find things to be thankful for. It's like focusing on what you want to focus on. So if we choose to focus on the negative things, then those negative things are actually going to develop and become more prominent. Yes. So we have to be careful. I saw a painting the other day. I think it was of two men who were in prison, and they were looking through the bars, and one of them was painting what he saw beyond the bars. And the other one was so focused on the bars, that's all he could paint.
Just
so
the
it's
bars.
a matter of
Perception. Yes.
So we have to be mindful of the things that we choose to focus on. If we choose to focus on being grateful every day, trust me, it's hard. But once you get into the habit of doing it consciously every day, you find that life starts to look differently.
True.
Yes.
And you find that you start to feel differently about people, things, and places. You start to feel more appreciative of the fact that you are alive and you still have a chance to do something differently that you wanted to do. And a lot of people may not necessarily have that choice. So whether we choose to be grateful or ungrateful, it's a choice. But we have to be cognizant of the fact that we are making that choice every day, repeatedly.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And in a world where we're moving away from the norms and we're becoming a bit harsh, in want of a better word, we have to find our center. And so it might be weird, but if this is what we have to be, this is who we have to be. Because if we lose a sense of who God has created us to be, then we're going to find out we're moving with every wind. And you mentioned that you mentioned something about us. Yeah, it's not being easy to be grateful, and I can tell you it's not. And if you find a reason to complain, you're going to complain every day, because every day life slaps you in the face. You get up, and as you get up off the bed, life slaps you in the face. It happens. But you have to be grateful, and you have to start cultivating that attitude. It's an attitude, it's not going to just happen automatically like anything else. You have to work at it. And after working at it, you'll find that it becomes better.
True.
And then you'll find that you get more things to be thankful for. So it's something that we have to work on. It's not easy. It's not automatic. Like it's like a bank, right? Yeah. So, you go to the bank and you withdraw money every day. If you don't put anything else, what are you going to get out? So you have to put in that work in order to be able to reap the benefits. So it's a bank. You have to do that.
We've said a lot, but if for all that you said, somebody's sitting and saying, ladies, I still not with you, and I think what you're saying is idealistic, I don't think I can achieve it. In wrapping up, what would you say to that cynic?
Well, I would say try it. Try it for yourself, and then see how that has impacted your life. Like, it may seem idealistic. Idealistic, yes. It may seem that way now, but when you actually put it into practice, you find that it works. Like the Bible says, so a man thinketh, so is he. So we have to be careful in the thoughts that we entertain and the thoughts that we develop and choose to focus on. So if you develop an attitude of gratefulness deliberately, consciously, every day, make it a point of duty to find something to be thankful for, your life will be transformed. And so too will your attitude towards yourself, towards what you have, what you don't have, and also to people, and your relationships will be made healthier for it. Some people might look at you and say, oh, you're going like you're Miss Goody Two Shoes, or everything is perfect and you don't have issues. But no, things aren't perfect. But it's what you choose to focus on that makes the difference.
Okay. And for me, in not trying to be harsh, but I would have to be realistic with a person, and I would say that if it is that you should have something that you take for granted now, let's just say you lose your arm or you lose your leg. Would your life remain the same? Or would you go throughout saying, I wish I had those things. When I had it, why didn't I give thanks for it? And so sometimes we take these little things for granted that we do have, and the things that we don't have, we quarrel about and we complain about. But what if on top of the things that you don't have, you should lose what you do have? How would that make you feel? So sometimes while we're not trying to baby people, we have to understand that we have to be realistic and we have to put things into perspective. So whatever it is that you have to do, you have to put in work, you have to put in that work to ensure, because we work on our jobs.
Yes.
So why can't we work on ourselves?
Yes.
True.
So work on that attitude of being grateful, work on that attitude of gratitude, and it will take you a far way.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, ladies. On that note, I have nothing to add instead of saying I'm hoping that if you don't think you got an answer to that question, which is how can a spirit of gratefulness engender a healthy relationship, I'm going to hope that you're going to sit back and go, something to think about. This was Making It Last podcast with me, Noreen Daly. Until next time, where it's really all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people.
Fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.